welcome to episode 24 of the Brooklyn Knitfolk podcast. My name is Jacqueline. You can find me on Instagram, Ravelry, Pinterest, all social medias as @JacquelineSalem. Show notes for this podcast can be found in the Brooklyn Knitfolk Ravelry group by searching Brooklyn Knitfolk in the groups tabs. And I think that's it for all of the contact info. If you want to get in touch with me, I suggest brooklynknitfolk@gmail.com. Sometimes my Ravelry messages, I hate the way messaging is set up in Ravelry, honestly, so I keep losing things and it's hard to search. So brooklynknitfolk@gmail.com if you have any questions or comments in the episode thread of the Ravelry group for this episode or in the comments below. So I hope you guys have had a really great few weeks. How was your Halloween? If you didn't see, I was cotton candy. That was such a fun costume. I sort of decided that probably the week of or so of Halloween, and I had so much fun putting that together, especially the hair and makeup, which was over the top and bright pink and crazy, and it's sort of like a pipe dream that I have pink hair. I don't know why, I've always wanted to have bubblegum pink hair, but I think that, specifically a bubblegum pink hair bob, but I think that I would just get tired of it after a month or two, so I've never done it, but anyway, so I got to live my dream by being cotton candy this year for Halloween, and it was really fun. Yeah, it's been a great few weeks. Some welcomes and hellos. I just want to say thank you so much for getting in touch with me. If you send me your messages and introduce yourself in the Ravelry group, rather than just saying the same thing over and over, I'll just say hello to you here, and I read everything you guys post, and it just makes my day to hear from you. So without further ado, welcome this week to UK Knitter Sam, Not Just Hooked, Hooks Books, The Dreamy Knitter, SLB 103, Ziltoidia, sorry about that, Fluffy Steph, Hannah on the Road, who has an incredible podcast, hi Hannah, Mamatronic, Just Brenda, SpongeBob Tenu, and Bear Hedge, I'm not sure how you say that, but welcome and hello, and thank you for introducing yourself in the Ravelry group. A few admin things before we get started. The Elemental Cal is officially over, and I haven't closed the thread yet. Oops, I need to do that. I posted in the Ravelry group that it would be extended to post your FOs until yesterday, but really it's just going to be until whenever I close the thread, which will hopefully be later today. I'm not planning on doing the whole make you watch to see if you won anything, because quite honestly there are too many prizes. I don't really want to make a separate video here, and you guys have put in the time and the effort. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a separate thread in Ravelry for all of the prizes and all of the winners. And I'll be giving prizes for FOs, your participation in the chatter thread. I'll be giving away some prizes on Instagram. So if you've won something on Instagram, I'll make sure to tag you over there. So rather than making a separate video for you guys to watch and everything, we'll just do all of it online, and congratulations to all of the winners in advance. Sorry, my camera's tilted just a little bit weird. Okay. Congratulations in advance to all of the winners, and thank you so much for participating. I had such a great time. I didn't finish my mittens. I didn't even work on them after last week. I don't know what it is. I'm not very good at participating in my own cals, but I loved coming up with the idea for this, and I still love the Sweep series. So if you haven't read it, it's amazing. Girl Who Discovers She's a Witch, kind of young adult novel. So if that sounds like it's up your alley, go check it out. It's my favorite series of all time. And then the last thing before we get into works in progress is the Sucre Sucre miniatures discount. As I've mentioned before, I am a brand rep, a sprinkle rep for her, which basically means I just promote what she does because I want to support small business. But because of that, that means you guys get a discount and 15% off. So if you're a new customer, there's a special link for you. And if you're a returning customer, there's a code that you can enter at checkout. So all of that stuff is in the Ravelry group. If you've never purchased a Sucre Sucre miniature, they're so well made and beautiful. They're these awesome little food miniatures, and of course I don't have one right now to show you, but go check them out online. And there's also the thread in Ravelry to get all the codes and discounts and all that good stuff. So with that, we will hop right into works in progress. I do not have any knitting FOs this week, just knitting works in progress. So we'll start with that. The first work in progress are my Secret Garden socks, which were supposed to be a design, but it turns out Cabin 4 has already designed it, so it's not really a design. But this is the sock. It's knit in Sweet Sparrow yarns in the Garden Rose, no, not Garden Rose, Secret Garden colorway. Here's the cake. Oh, it's just so beautiful. It's this like teal greens, mauvey pinks. It is the perfect color for Secret Garden, honestly. And it's a tweed base, and I've mentioned this before, but I love Julie's tweed base. It has the mixture of colors in the tweed. It's like blacks and browns. It's a very woodsy tweed base, and it's so plush and soft. I did a giveaway for Sweet Sparrow yarns back in the early stages of my podcast. I want to say it was like episode 5 even or so. I can't remember for sure. Maybe that was Circus Tonic. Either way, did a giveaway for this, and I just like went on about its squishy bounce factor. It's just so lovely. A twist in it. So the stitch definition is incredible, as you will see here in the work in progress. So I'm just about to do the heel on this first one. I'm not knitting these concurrently. At this point, I'm not concerned anymore about whether or not I will get the socks done. I know that I will because I really like knitting socks and always have one going. Typically, I knit my socks concurrently on 9-inch circulars with a 56 stitch cast on. But because this has 2 cables in it, cables can kind of make a sock smaller, I think. So, and that's according to what I've researched. So I cast on 60 stitches for this sock, and it's a 2x2 rib, which is my cuff of choice, because I think it fits better and it just like stays up and it's easy to knit. And then I have a cable that goes toward the center, a panel of seed stitch in the middle, and then this other cable that turns toward this one. In Cabin 4, I'm not sure if it's exactly the same counts or anything like that, but they've designed this exact like pattern. So not a design anymore. That's the back. It's just vanilla on the back, so you can really get a sense of that gorgeous tweed. Look how lovely that is. Oh, it's so pretty. I just love this colorway so much. Again, that is Sweet Sparrow yarns on the tweed base in her Secret Garden colorway. So that's the first sock that I've cast on. And it's living in my new favorite project bag right now, which was given to me by Sue. Look at these amazing cats. I showed this off last time, but she sewed this bag for me and I love it. And there's a little lavender sachet that's making my project smell beautiful. So this project is essentially a dream to work on. An awesome bag, drawstring, super well made, great yarn, love the pattern that I'm designing so far. I think I haven't decided. I did say I was just about to pop in a heel, which would probably just be the Fish Lips Kiss heel, but I have been really drawn in by the Afterthought heel lately from the Smooth Operator socks, so I'm thinking about just knitting it and trying an Afterthought heel in these. I don't know, I haven't decided yet fully, but I guess since I've stopped, I'll probably put in a Fish Lips Kiss. I don't know, whatever. We'll see what I feel like. Because I have another sock whip. Typically I only do one at a time, but right now I just feel like knitting socks. That's what I feel like making. And sweaters, even though I haven't cast one on yet, but I know what I want to cast on. My second work in progress, not a design, but it's a take on someone else's design. I modified the pattern quite a bit. This is sort of based off of the Gladys sock pattern, and you might have seen this before if you've been watching for a little while. I originally was knitting this in, I wonder if I have it here, nope, don't, in Patton's Croy, and I thought because this was looking so wide that it was because of the Patton's Croy, but now that I've re-knit this in the Wool Barn, this is her tweed sock base in the Cozy colorway, another gorgeous colorway. I'm sort of wishing that I didn't have this blue cuff on it, because I honestly just want to knit the whole sock just in this. And I'm normally a contrasting you know, heels and toes at the very least person. So I don't know, I really wish that I just had the whole sock in this. Maybe I'll knit the other one just in this, and then this one, sisters not twins, will have the blue cuff. I don't know. Anyway, back to what I was saying. I think now that I've reknit it and I can see that this is really wide here and then it starts going back into like a normal circumference, I think it's the pattern that was doing that for me, maybe not the Patons Kroy yarn. Granted, I still don't love the feel of the Patons Kroy yarn, really. It wasn't soft really to work with compared to, you know, more indie dyed yarns, of course, which is just more fun to work with in my opinion. So I'm not sure if I'll end up using that Patons Kroy after all. I don't know. I haven't destashed it yet, but I do have about 3 at least socks worth of Patons Kroy yarn in my stash, so I need to decide what to do with that. Either way, this Wool Barn yarn, it's so lush. This is the hand wound ball. I wind into 250-gram cakes, but here's the cake. Oh, it's just so lovely. I love this color, and it's so soft too. Sorry. So the Gladys sock pattern, I think this herringbone texture is kind of what makes it puff out like this. This is part of the original Gladys sock. And then this right here are some stitch patterns that she uses in her pattern, but I've reorganized them and I'm not doing it all the way around. I'm only doing it on the side of the sock. So we have kind of like this checkerboard effect first, rows of knits, a panel of seed stitch, which both of my socks have seed stitch in them, and I love how seed stitch looks and feels, aka moss stitch, by the way, if you didn't know that. It's also called moss. I love how it looks, but it's a pain in the bootay to knit because it's knit, purl, and then you alternate knit, purl for the next row. Purl the knits and knit the purls. Another panel of knits, and then a panel of the checkerboard, and then a panel of purls, just to frame it. So that's what the Gladys sock is looking like at the moment. I'm loving how it turns out. These are just so cozy, and as the name would imply, I guess, they just look so cozy, and I cannot wait to wear these when they are finished. I'm a very selfish knitter right now. This time last year, I was knitting almost exclusively for friends and family, and that was when I first started knitting, but for some reason now, I just want everything for myself. Bitchy. No, it's not. It takes a long time to knit stuff, y'all. And I don't know, I just want everything for myself. Anyway, so those are my 2 sock whips. I have one more work in progress that has come out of the hibernation, finally. And this is living in my Cat's Kettle Yarns project bag, this Zelda bag that I bought from her. I love this fabric. It's so cool. And the green bottom. This bag is like an amazing size. This is definitely like a sweater size bag. So it's kind of extravagant for this shawl, but I figured I kind of needed an awesome, oh my gosh, that reminds me, look on. Sorry, I keep getting distracted as I'm showing you things. Look at this interior fabric. It's like gold roses. Isn't that awesome? So anyway, as I was saying, I need to put this project into a bag I love so that it will kind of like entice me to work on it more, and surprisingly, I think it's done the trick. I've put it in this bag, I leave it beside my bed, and for some reason when I'm just not feeling like the socks, I'm like, I kind of do want to knit on that heady shawl right now. So that's what I'm doing. So it is slow going. This is just hella cabling. It's so much cabling. Look at this. It's so beautiful though. I love the way that the Brooklyn tweed is working up in this yarn. This is the center diamond, so I've knit from here, but this is like 2 nights of knitting. Not a lot, maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours per each session of the 2 nights that I did it. But it's just slow going. And I know you guys are screaming at me and I'm screaming at myself, cable without a cable needle! Cable without the cable needle, and I really should learn. I don't know why I've gotten so lazy about looking up this stupid YouTube video to learn how to cable without a cable needle, but I digress. Eventually I will, and then I'll be really mad at myself that I did all of this it just keeps going without a cable needle. So I'm just really enticed to have this done because I think the FO will be really amazing. If you've never seen this before, this is the Hetty shawl by Isolde Teague, and the original pattern is much smaller than this, but I prefer larger shawls. I don't really like small shawls, so I added extra repeats to the border. This is the border section. Added 10 extra. This is the center, and then I have to do all of this again on the other side. And then once I finish with the border, I pick up the stitches in here and then knit the interior portion of it. So that's my Hetty shawl. Here's a close-up of this cable porn, honestly. Look how beautiful this is. And that lighting, it's just perfect. Look at this cable. Ugh, could you just die? I could. Look at this. Look at this. So if you couldn't tell, I am really excited and reinvigorated with this project again. I never really fell out of love with it. I just ran out of yarn. And when I say ran out of yarn, because I had a question about that on a previous episode, I know it's against best practice, but my budget doesn't allow for me to purchase all of the yarn for a bigger project at once, so I kind of just acquire as I go and try to buy the same dye lot if it's there when I go back. So I just ran out of the yarn that I had for this already to have to go buy some more, so that's what I did. And here's the cake. This is Brooklyn Tweed Shelter in the Hayloft colorway. And I personally love Brooklyn Tweed. I know others do not, but I love Brooklyn Tweed yarn. The blocked finished objects especially, incredible. Like, this is going to feel so, it's not like, it's rustic, absolutely, without a doubt. But it just, blocking completely transforms the FOs, and it just takes it to a whole new level. And if you've never felt a sample of Brooklyn Tweed in a store or something like that, it's very different, I think, than how it feels when you're knitting with it or when you're knitting the cake. I still like this. It's not as soft as, you know, your Madeline Tosh Merino anything. It's not going to ever feel like that. But it's also not scratchy to the point of discomfort, and for me. For some people it might be. But that's it so far. I will continue working on this. I've told Lisa, who has the Knitting by the Sea podcast, that I will have this done before the Washington County Farm and Fiber Tour in April. So that's my eventual deadline. I'm sure I will have it done before then, though. That would be ridiculous if I didn't. So that is the Hetty shawl. The interior color, which I've showed you many, many times, but just in case, maybe, if I know where I put it. Postcard. It's going to be knit in Postcard, which is like this kind of gray purple with tweedy bits of hot pink and some reddish tones to it. I'm really excited. So that is the Hetty shawl. And those are all my knitting works in progress. I do have some future cast-ons planned. My most immediate one is probably going to be the Quadri hat, which is a design by Michelle Wong. It's a beautiful hat pattern, cabled. I've been wanting to make my roommate a hat. She's a totally knit-worthy person. I love her, she's amazing. And her favorite color is pink, so I'll be picking out some sort of like baby pink kind of color yarn. And I found a good yarn at Pearl Soho. I didn't get it because I was kind of in the middle of something the other day, but I want to knit her a hat. The problem is this whole, the problem is this whole selfish knitters thing where I don't want to knit anything for anybody else, and she's totally knit-worthy is the thing. I'm sure it will come to me eventually. Eventually I will want to knit things for other people. But I really want to knit a Quadri hat, and I'm just not convinced that when I knit it that I won't keep it for myself. Although if it's in baby pink, I probably will guarantee that I won't keep it for myself, so that's why I haven't cast it on yet, because I want to knit one for myself in a color that I love. First I'm keeping those socks for myself last week, and now I don't want to knit anything for her. Anyway, I digress. The Quadri hat, gorgeous pattern. And then I also, this is just like the Michelle Wong episode, the Andawa sweater by Michelle Wong. another beautiful sweater that I've been wanting to make for ages, like since I first started knitting. And that one, the only thing that's holding me up is trying to decide which yarn to knit it in. I'm not opposed to knitting it in Brooklyn tweed. It's just not, I really want to make a Cormo sweater, and I don't have Cormo yarn in my stash enough for that sweater. So I need to figure out where to get it. I would love to pick some up. I wish I had picked it up at Rhinebeck. That was what I really wanted to find at Rhinebeck. But unfortunately I didn't get to any of kind of like the farmer tents. I only saw more of the indie dye commercial-y tents, so I didn't get to find my sweater yarn there, but I don't know, so I'm not exactly sure. I know Michelle Wong, when she ran Gauge Intention, she had a beautiful Cormo yarn that she stocked there, so I'm wondering if maybe I contact her to see where I can buy that, and I remember the feel of it, so if it's the right weight, or if I can find it in the right weight, because I remember that being either DK or Sport, I want to say. But anyway, I would really like a Cormo yarn for this sweater. The texture of Cormo is really, really wonderful. I've described it before as being just as soft as merino, but maybe more velvety in texture, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's really my upcoming cast-ons eventually. Oh, and I really would love to knit some mittens. Yes, I have my Woodland Tales work in progress, which is over there on that table, but I've just got the idea in my head, and maybe this is why I stopped knitting my Woodland Tales mittens, that I want mittens lined in Woolfolk yarn, which, as you may or may not know, I knit the Void Shawl out of Woolfolk yarn, and that yarn is incredibly soft. I know that it will probably pill if I try to do the whole mitten in that, so I'm thinking if I just do a lined mitten in the Woolfolk, that will be better suited for the yarn type. And with that, we're going to move into Spoolish Games. So if you follow me on Instagram, again, that's at Jacqueline Salem, you might have recognized this fabric. And it's now the Agnes top. This is so cute. I love it. So the Agnes top is a sewing pattern by Tilly and the Buttons, and there are 3 variations, or a few, kind of combinations you can do. So we have the shorter sleeve and the longer sleeve, the ruched neckline and the regular scoop neckline, and then the ruched sleeves or the regular sleeves. So I've done the 3/4 length sleeve, the ruched sleeve, and just the regular scoop neckline, and I love how this turned out. So I have a lot of things I want to talk about with this top. First of all, cutting jersey, it is not easy. If you don't have a rotary cutter, I have no clue how you could cut this out. This is a rotary cutter, has a circular blade, and you just zip along to cut your fabric. If you don't have a rotary cutter, I have no clue how you would go about cutting out jersey. It would just slide all over the place. The other thing too is if you're working with patterned, highly contrasting patterned fabric, polka dots, stripes, your eyes will be cross-eyed like the entire time you're pinning your pattern pieces to the fabric. It was like so difficult to get that part right. The good thing about jersey is that because it's a stretch material and there is negative ease in this top, that it is quite forgiving in terms of sewing. It's kind of difficult to tell if you have kind of like not cut it exactly on the line or anything like that. It's difficult to tell because jersey is stretchy, and because of the negative ease it hides flaws really well. This is an excellent beginner's pattern. This is my second garment that I've sewn, since I'm just calling my Rhinebeck dress, I'm calling that my first garment, because honestly the last time that I sewed any garments was middle school. So for all intents and purposes, I am a 100% newbie garment sewer. I have been sewing for quite a while, over 20 years, because I made quilts and still make quilts. But so I do have sewing skills, but as far as garment skill set, completely new to me. So this is my second pattern, and I could definitely recommend this to a beginner. Tilly's instructions are very clear. There's really great pictures. that kind of explain the process in addition to the copy. Some upfront things about the materials that you need, a page about jargon buster, so there's kind of like a dictionary of terms on here for anything that might be confusing. Finding your pattern size and how to determine your pattern size. I fell into 2 different pattern sizes, the 4 and the 5, and for cutting out the pattern pieces for me, I just kind of drew a line between, I have a smaller bust size compared to the larger waist size that I needed, which was the difference between the 4 and the 5. So I just kind of drew a curved line, which would have been much easier with a French, I think they're called French curves. I don't have one. I know I've seen Kristen from the Yarngasm podcast talking about one. That's a new tool I should get for my sewing arsenal. But I just kind of drew a curved line as best I could to kind of true up the 2 sizes, and that worked out perfectly for me. So I'm going to stand up here so you can kind of see more of it. Woo! There's the ruched sleeve. I do wish it came out a bit more ruched, like more dramatic than it is. But other than a few other things, I'm 100% in love and happy with it. I don't know where all these hiccups are coming from. So, it fits great. I love the fabric. It's so soft. I just like walking around, you know, rubbing myself because it's so soft. Pattern matching. So if you're a 100% new sewer, I would recommend getting a solid color jersey knit fabric, just because the pattern matching can be another additional challenge. If you've been sewing for a little while, then give it a go. Unfortunately, I didn't pay attention to pattern matching until after the first sleeve when I was attaching it. It didn't really matter as much up here, but attaching the first sleeve was the first part that I had to actually pay attention to pattern matching, and of course after I did the first sleeve, that's what I remembered, and I was like, eh. So it's really bugging me. It's bugging me a lot. This right here. This doesn't match up with the stripes. And I remembered enough to do it properly on here, on the side seams, and everywhere else. Just the sleeve right here is where it's not pattern matched. And unfortunately, when I've tried like unpicking parts of it before in the process, it's not very forgiving in this particular jersey, maybe other ones are, I don't really know. It's not very forgiving for unpicking. It's like it kind of rips the fabric because the fabric is sort of delicate, I guess, for this particular one. I felt jerseys that are definitely stronger, but this is quite a thinner jersey. Here, I have some scraps here. This is the amount I have left over. So, you know, if you unpick this too much, it's going to create holes in it, which is what I was starting to experience, and I just didn't want that to happen to the top, so I just kind of left it as it was with the sleeve. I can always make another one. It will be fine. I will say, actually, now that I'm looking at this fabric, the pattern recommends for 60-inch fabric needing 1 5/8 yards or 1.5 meters. I ordered 2 just to be on the safe side, or not ordered, I bought 2 at Spandex World, and I don't see how I could have gotten this top out of 1 5/8 because you have to cut things on the fold, and there was only maybe half a foot left of the fold. So maybe the 1 5/8 would have worked, but it would have been like right there close, and I just like don't like that kind of rolling the dice that way. So I'm really glad that I bought the 2 yards of fabric. If I were you, I would too, just to give yourself a little cushion if you're making it for the first time. If you're an experienced sewist and have worked with knit fabrics a lot, then you'll probably be fine with the 1 5/8 or 1.5 meters. But yeah, I really loved this project, and I cannot wait to make more of these. This is exactly like a top that I had in the same style, like a ruched sleeve like this and a striped jersey knit top that was Kelly green and white, and I wore it to death and it just died. So I'm really excited to have this in my wardrobe again. I want to make tons more of them. I can't wait. So this is the Agnes top by Tilly and the Buttons, and you can either buy it online, or also it's stocked in a lot of sewing supply stores, so you might check your local sew supply stores. The next thing, which is not an FO, so this is my FO. Nothing else has actually been started yet, but I have tons of fabric now for new projects. I'm dying to make leggings. So this is my fabric. It's been washed and dried, black spandex, fabric moisture wicking material. The people at Spandex World, that was the store that I went to in New York City to purchase these two fabrics. They were wonderful in helping out. The store is very clean, organized, easy to see things, and the prices were stellar, like so reasonable, especially even for New York City prices. So if you're in the area and want to purchase some jersey or, you know, what have you, I would highly recommend Spandex World. They have stretch laces, yeah, lots of stretchy materials. It's fantastic. So this is my moisture wicking material for my leggings. I have not started sewing it up yet, but pro tip for all you people who hate cutting out and piecing together PDF patterns, because I just can't bring myself to do that. I want to sew the manila leggings by Seamwork. So with the Seamwork subscription, it's part of Colette's blog actually. It's $6 a month. You can cancel at any time, so you don't have to pay a certain number of months up front, and you get 2 free pattern credits a month that you can apply toward any of their existing Seamwork patterns. You get the Seamwork magazine, which comes with articles about like different kinds of fabrics and what fabrics work with what kinds of patterns, and just a wealth of information. So if you're a newbie sewist and you're looking to find some resources for easy patterns, lots of information, helpful tips and tricks, I would highly recommend Seamwork magazine subscription. I actually have a link up in my Ravelry group to get half off of your first month. So if you want to check it out for $3, you can go to my Ravelry group and click on the link and sign up for a month to check it out for yourself. Anyway, manila leggings pattern by Seamwork. You can either cut it up, tape it together like a normal PDF pattern, or they also give you the large format printer version, which is what I've done. Now obviously I don't have a huge ass printer in my apartment, so I thought if you hadn't already known this little tip and trick, because this is something I learned from being in the design industry. Sorry, just to get that rolled up again so we don't have to hear this clanging about. If you have not heard, Staples, Kinko's, I think actually maybe more Staples, I'm not sure if Kinko's does them. They're called engineer's prints, sometimes blueprints. And what they do is print on a large format printer. They have different sizes. The largest size you can get is 24 by 36. And for $7, you can get a print of that size. To me, that's totally worth it than printing out all those pieces of paper, taping them together. What a nightmare. No thank you. So I printed it out at Staples. Again, if you just search on staples.com for engineer print, you'll find it. 24 by 36 inches is the biggest size that they do. So if your pattern pieces are more than that, then you'll have to kind of like print, you know, $14 worth if it's like a really large dress or something like that, for example. But I would say most pattern pieces are going to fit in a 24 by 36 range, which to me is far superior to having to cut out and tape together a bunch of pieces of paper. So that's a little tip and trick for you. I have another tip and trick for you that I can't believe I haven't really mentioned yet. We'll get to it. It's called Google Chromecast, which I hope a lot of you have heard of, but I'm thinking maybe a lot of you have not based on Instagram. Just a little teaser for the end, so stick around because it's a much more enjoyable way to watch podcasts. So that's what these leggings are going to be. I have had a hiccup with my serger. Let me see if I can pan over here and show you. So there's my serger. I learned how to thread it last night. I sat here, I was doing the thing. I was gonna serge this baby. Where did I put my pieces? It was going so well, you guys. It was going so well. Here's my serged end, my little test strip, because you have to test out your fabric every time that you use a serger to adjust for the tension. Every time I did a test strip, it was fine. When I took my top to it, it wouldn't stitch all of a sudden. And it's threaded. Maybe all of you serger professionals out there can tell me. It's still threaded, I think, but then when I would go to rethread it, try another test strip, it would work. I would take my top to it, and it wouldn't. So I think it must be something I'm doing wrong when I'm pulling out this piece, like I'm taking off the tension of the under overlockers that go on the bottom, or I'm pulling it out of the kind of track that the thread is supposed to go on. I don't really know. So I got really frustrated with that last night, and I put it in a timeout, and I was like, well, darn, as I really want to work on this top, what do I do? And so I'm searching everywhere in my stash for a ballpoint needle or a stretch needle, which is the kind of needle that you will need to sew knit fabrics. I couldn't find one. I looked in my like little Bernina case that comes with the sewing machine that I have, and lo and behold, Bernina comes with all these little needles that you need, and Bernina saves the day again. You guys, I'm so lucky to have that machine. I'm aware of how lucky I am, and it's incredible. I love that sewing machine. So Bernina saved the day. It had a stretch needle that came with it, and so that's how I was able to sew this top, by doing mostly zigzag stitching, but the overlocker / serger was not a success for me. So that's kind of putting the brakes on this, because I mean, I guess I could just use the stretch needle on my Bernina, but I really want to learn how to use that serger. I feel like no professional, that's not true. That's not true at all. I was going to say no professional seamstress could not know how to use a serger. That's not true at all. But I really want to learn how to use it. I have this great tool. It makes finishings look so good. I mean, I want to serge the edges of my pattern pieces for even my wovens projects, just to have that kind of really professional look on the interior. So I need to figure out what it is I'm doing wrong with that thing, because I want to learn how to use it so badly, but last night it was just not happening for me. So other fabrics that I've acquired, I ordered a huge order, well, not huge, but big for me, on fabric.com of 5 different fabrics. So now I have enough to make a skirt and 3 dresses. So let me show you the fabrics. First we have this lovely fabric, which has the texture of chiffon. So it is slippery. This one's probably going to be difficult to sew with, but I think it's going to make a gorgeous gathered skirt for, I'll show you all the patterns in just a second. That's the first one. It's kind of chartreusey, mustardy yellow, dark gray on a cream colored background. Love that. Obviously I love them all, otherwise why would I have ordered them? Another floral. I love floral prints. So this kind of burgundy with teal in it, black, pink fabric. The texture of this was much different than I expected. All of them were slightly different than what I was expecting, but when you order online, you know, that's what you get. I'm not sure if that's going to come across, but it's kind of got a bumpy texture to it. That's the second fabric. The next one, love the pattern. I didn't realize that this was going to be kind of flannel-y in texture. So this was going to be, I'll show you the pattern. This dress right here, Simplicity 1325. I'm making this dress the shorter version of it though. And this fabric was going to be the skirt portion of it, and I was going to color block it with a black top. So this is a twill to make for the top part. But I don't know, is that weird to have like this kind of flannel-y fabric as a skirt? I don't really know. So now I'm thinking maybe I should turn this into like a jacket or a coat or something. I don't know. I don't know what to do with this yet. But I love this kind of herringbone texture. And it's really, really soft. The black twill then, as you saw. And then last but not least, this olive green, kind of dark, well, more like forest green, not olive, diamond quilted knit fabric. I've had it in my head that I've wanted to make a skirt, a knee-length full circle skirt out of quilted fabric for years. And it took everything in me not to order black, because if you guys know me, I'm that person searching for that one black shirt in a sea of black shirts. But I thought, I love this green color, let's go with that. And it'll be very useful for around the holidays too. So I'm really excited about this. The diamond knit is a little bit different. It's smaller than I thought it would be. I thought it was going to be larger based on the picture that was online, but I'm not hating it. So this is going to be a full circle skirt. I showed you this was going to be this dress right here. This one is going to be Vogue V9 or V9 100. This dress right here. Maybe this Sew Over It Rosy dress, which looks like this. Maybe. They're very similar. And then this one, along with that black twill, was going to be an additional dress like this. So this will be the floral print will be the bottom fabric and the black will be the top, color blocked. But I have a lot of this and I don't know, I feel like this on its own would make a really pretty dress. I think it would have to be lined though. It's quite thin, but I love how this feels. So that's all my fabric haul and my pattern plans. So I think that does it for Spoolish Games segment of the podcast this week. And last but not least, we have the acquisition segment of the podcast. This week I have no purchased acquisitions, they were all gifts, so I'm really excited to share some of these with you today. The first one, which I neglected to mention last time, was a gift from Michael Georgian, who is Apt to Know Knits. He's the co-host of the Penguin Coffee Clutch podcast. He was kind enough to give me this skein of yarn at Rhinebeck, and it's called Extinct. It's a one-of-a-kind colorway, 75-25 merino nylon sock yarn. So it has this blend of greens, which is like perfect for my Slytherin nature. I'm a Slytherin, by the way. It's my house in Harry Potter. Which, by the way, Katie from Inside Number 23, I'm so jealous of her trip at Harry Potter World. I digress. So this is this colorway, Extinct, all these greens. The next one was a lovely gift from a new indie dyer that new to me at least, Catsock Fibers. Here's her label. Sent to me by Taylor. She is, I think, a duo, Taylor and Nina, I want to say. I'm sorry if I'm getting that wrong, I can't remember for sure. But Catsock Fibers is the name of their indie yarn dyeing business. And this colorway is called Ring Bearer, which is a Lord of the Rings reference. Can I be real with you guys for just a second? I've never seen Lord of the Rings. It's shameful. It's not because I don't want to. I know I would probably love it, but it's not on like Netflix or, you know, anything where I can like easily watch it. I have to go buy it. So I've just never seen it before. I read The Hobbit, but I didn't read any of the other books either. And I need to watch it. It's shameful. So it flows from this kind of blue to this kind of mauvey brown to this green color. And this one is 400 yards, 100 grams, 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. So that's Catsock Fibers. Did I say cat sandwich? I hope I didn't. Sorry, that would have been habit. Catsock Fibers is the name of this. Thank you so much, Taylor. It's beautiful. This was a gift from my mom. So my mom is cleaning out, my parents are cleaning out their house because they're going to be moving from Nashville to Knoxville soon to be closer to my sister and the baby. And while they were cleaning out the house, she found this bag and asked if I wanted it for a project bag. And I was like, hell yeah, this is so cute, isn't it? What I kind of want to do is take some embroidery thread and stitch on top of it, like fill some of it in. I don't know. Oh my gosh, by the way, it's not going to be for everybody, but Cassandra from Riza Knits on Instagram, she's a wonderful designer and she used to have a podcast, but she hasn't for a while. Sorry, I'm looking down because I'm looking at my phone so I can find out the name of it for you. There's an incredible artist who does these embroidery things I have just never seen before. Alright, the artist's name is Jessica Sorrentang, and she does kind of like these boudoir scenes, and that's all filled in with embroidery. It's kind of hard. I hope that's coming across well on camera. That's one of them. These are absolutely insane, and she shows them all in progress as she's working on them. They're gorgeous. Let me see if I can find another one. Here's another one. Again, all filled in with embroidery. She'll show you the process as she does it. I'm obsessed with this. So I'll put the information in the show notes, but I love this Instagram. Last night I was just like in shock scrolling through it. Anyway. So I kind of would love to try to fill in some of this, like just little pieces here and there, and definitely not the whole thing because that would be insanity, but like one of the birds or, you know, something like that. So, thanks, Mom. And then last but certainly not least, I participated in the Podcasters in July swap that was organized by Melissa, who has the Spicy Homemaker podcast, and my swap partner was Shara from the What Shara Made podcast. She and I were equally tardy swappers, but better late than never, right? We were supposed to swap this in July. I sent hers at the beginning of October, and I'm getting hers now in November. Oops, but whatever. It's fine with me. She sent me the most thoughtful package, so I'm just going to show you guys some of the awesome things that she sent me. This is her mittens pattern. I'm blanking on the name right now, but I'll put it on the bottom of the screen here because I've had lots of people ask me about these mitten patterns actually. They're so lovely. This is her own design, Shara's design. They fit like a dream. So I cannot wait to start wearing these. It's been really warm all of a sudden. It was really cold and now it's warm again. Really ready for some cold weather. So that's the mitt pattern. She sent me this skein of yarn, and what's really special about this is that the alpacas that it comes from are a friend of hers that's local to her town in Australia, and then she dyed this with eucalyptus and Australian indigo, and it's just a beautiful neutrals color. Does she know me or what? 15% Australian merino, 85% Australian alpaca, and it's a sport weight yarn. Alpaca does typically make me itchy, but I've worn these mittens around and I was fine. And then holding this up to myself, I feel fine. So maybe it's just particular kinds of alpaca, I don't know. But I love this yarn. And then she sent me socks from the local sock lady, as it's called. Everybody has socks from the sock lady. So I'm guessing these are machine knit. That would be insane. I don't think these were hand knit, but these are from the local sock lady. I love this color. It's like chartreusey gold. So I got socks from sock lady. A lovely card. This bag, because who doesn't have enough tote bags? She also sent me this really cute crocheted bird ornament, which it's on my desk somewhere, but it's covered in all of my stuff for recording for the podcast episode, so I'm sorry that I can't show it to you right now, but trust me when I say it's really cute too. So thank you so much, Shara, for this really lovely, amazing gift, and I hope you liked yours as much as I liked mine. Okay, one last thing. I forgot to record this earlier, but it's okay because it'd be easier if I can show you what I mean anyway. So, watching podcasts. I have no clue how you guys watch these podcasts on your phones, your computers, your iPads. I watch them on my TV, and I'm about to show you how. And I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called Google Chromecast. I'm sure tons of you have heard of this, but I hope it will be helpful to some of you. So I'm just going to put this at the end so you can not have to watch it if you already know what this is. It works like Apple TV, except it only costs, I think, $30, maybe $35. You get this little stick. Hold on. I'll show you. I don't have the packaging for it anymore. This little stick right here. That's what it looks like. This is the device. You plug this into your HDMI output on your TV. You plug that little stick into your HDMI cable or your HDMI output on your TV. There are instructions, of course it's Google, so they're going to give you really clear instructions on how to do it, how to set it up. Essentially, it streams the internet to that device on your TV so that, let me find it for you. Apps like the YouTube app on your phone. You can use your computer if you don't have a smartphone or your iPad or what have you. YouTube, Netflix, tons of apps, but those are like the two big ones. You can stream it from your phone. So I just connect it. Again, all these instructions are in the Chromecast instructions. And then let's say like, oh, Melody is uploaded something. Hit play. And there is Melody's new video playing on my TV. So if you don't want to watch podcasts on your little computer screens anymore and you'd rather watch it on your TV, that's how you do it. Google Chromecast. Look into it. $35, not as expensive as an Apple TV, and it will change your life for watching podcasts, because I can't sit and watch things on my computer for hours. So I hope you guys have a really great day. Bye! So with that, I think that wraps up the episode today. I hope you guys are going to have a really great weekend. I can't wait to keep sewing up a storm over here and knitting on my projects. Don't forget to take advantage of that Sucre Sucre Miniatures discount that I can give you. Again, all that will be in Ravelry. And stay tuned to see if you're a winner from the Elementalong. Take care. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye! Mwah!